Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, let's get started. There's a lot to talk about today, especially with the way the market is moving. Altcoins are facing a lot of dip right now, and this is expected. This is normal volatility in the crypto space. However, there are strategies that you can use to stay afloat, and that's what today's live stream is going to be about. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips, tricks, and strategies to help you navigate the bear market or any bearish condition, because whenever Bitcoin is taking a dip, altcoins tend to suffer a lot more. And you can see right here on this list, on this slide, sorry, that the strategies involve making a list, getting exposure, setting targets, DCA, and as well as some lifetime opportunities that I'm looking at right now from my own point of view. And of course, I'm going to be addressing some viewers' comments. First come, first serve. So if you're here right now, be sure to share it. Turn on notifications next time so that you can be the first comments I respond to. And without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to quickly address some comments here. BDP, it's always good to see you here. And Amadou Kefadin, thank you so much for joining me here today. So let's take a look at the markets right now, how Bitcoin is behaving. Personally, I don't think it's that bad because a few weeks ago, about a month ago, when Bitcoin was, going up to about 25K, 27K, people were celebrating, people saw it as bullish. And I still think, we're still within a range that is not too scary because a lot of banks right now in the space are facing issues. There's a bank run in the UK, there's protests going on in France, the US banks are failing. So now more than ever, the case for Bitcoin is strong, and I'm still bullish on the crypto space as a whole. So personally, I think it's always a good opportunity to accumulate some more Bitcoin whenever there's a dip, and we should expect this volatility. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about how you can find 100x gems whenever there's a dip in the market, and the first step is to make a list. Now, what do I mean by making a list? You need to have some projects that you are looking at, some projects that are actually worth accumulating, worth your time, and worth investing in whenever these things occur. The real question now is, what kind of projects makes it to the list? How do you create that list? Well, I have another slide right here to help you with making that list. And having a list is the first step, and I think it's a very important step, and I'm going to explain to you why it's important to have a list. But before we get into what you do with the list, let's talk about what kinds of projects would make it to the list. And that involves mainly setting up your portfolio, whether it's an NFT portfolio, whether it's a high cap portfolio, whether it's $1,000 portfolio or a low cap portfolio. These are the criteria that I believe you should pay attention to before a project can make it to your list. And the first is the project idea. What does the project aim to do? What problem is it solving? There are so many crypto projects out there, over 23,000 crypto projects, and many of them come and make promises. Some of them are too good to be true, while some of them actually make sense. So I always like to say, pay attention to projects that have a justification for being on the blockchain, and that's the second part of the kind of project that would make it to your list, the project justification. Take for example, Litecoin. Litecoin's justification was that Bitcoin is slow and expensive. That's a good justification. So if a project should come after Litecoin saying, oh, we're a good currency, we're faster than Bitcoin, we're also cheaper than Bitcoin, they don't really have a good justification. They have a use case and they're not solving a problem. So pay attention to the project idea. What problem is it solving? And that's the thing that actually I believe would rule out a lot of meme coins. A lot of meme coins don't have good justification. The only justification many of them say is, oh, we're a strong community, or we're going to teach people about crypto. To me, that's not really a good justification to be on the blockchain. Also, a lot of projects that fall within the entertainment aspect, you know, you can't just say we are decentralized or we are on the blockchain and then you expect people to start investing in it. Yeah, so what, you're on the blockchain, so what, you're decentralized. If the Web2 alternative is better and easier for people to follow than the Web3 case, then it's just being on the blockchain for the sake of it. It's not really solving any problem. So a project justification is also very important for it to make it to your list. And perhaps one of the most important that I'm looking into right now is the team track record. So, what the reason why I said this is very important is there are many projects in the space, right? And they have team members that are doing this crypto thing for the first time. And this is a big problem. Why do I think this is a big problem? Well, because many of these projects, the team have no experience, and you see them jumping on trends. This is a big and a major red flag, in my opinion. If a project doesn't have a team that is laser focused on what they aim to do, on the problem they intend to solve, then these projects won't have longevity because they are going to be very confused. They have no direction, and the importance of follow up is extremely important. You want to see a project that is taking feedback, adding using their experience to grow the project, and making sure the project doesn't have problem, because there's no product that would launch that is 100% perfect. So if you have a team that doesn't know what they are doing, but they just want to try out the blockchain, well, it's all well and good if they keep developing, but it's important for the project to be able to follow up what they are doing. Avoid projects that, oh, they started as this and then they are rebranding to something else. One of the examples I'll give regarding that is a project that I actually was a fan of, and that's Film Crib. When I first came across Film Crib, I was like, oh, this project has a good idea, it has a good justification, and the team is, serious about taking this decentralized video forward on the blockchain. And then all of a sudden, Film Crib started trying to rebrand and trying to do something else, and it's kind of puts me off because I like to pay attention to a team that wants to focus on one thing and not just trying to chase trends. Because if they're trying to chase trends, they will abandon their previous ideas and probably dump the project on unsuspecting investors. This is actually a bit problematic. So I really think projects always coming out with different versions or stuff like that kind of is a red flag, because it shows that they are not really sure of what they are doing. But if they are releasing the versions as an improvement, that's a good thing. So team track record is extremely important. Pay attention to what they've done in the past, how they intend to follow up the project, and how they intend to keep improving the project. That's extremely important. So, what else should you see in a project before it makes it into your list? And that's what would make it into your list is the tokenomics. So, before a project can make it into your list, it should have good tokenomics. And there are several things to look at into the tokenomics, right? One of the most important is the amount in circulation. We always talk about that on the gem hunters. We like to see 50% in circulation, especially for mid to high caps. If it's a low cap, like at least 30, 35%, stuff like that. But another extremely important aspect of tokenomics is to check the vesting period. Now, the reason why I say to check the vesting period, whales are very, very funny and manipulative people, right? When tokens are about to get unlocked, you see all of a sudden the marketing is serious and the marketing is insane. Why is that the case? Well, once the tokens get unlocked, there you can expect a dump after that insane marketing. So it's extremely important that when looking at a project's tokenomics, you pay attention to the whales, the amount of holders, and when the tokens will get released. Because once the tokens get vested out, there's more than likely going to be a sell-off, because these people have gotten early. They're seeing their 5x, they're seeing their 10x. I would take profits, won't you? You would probably take profits as well. So when making a list, those are the things you should pay attention to: the project idea, the justification on the blockchain, the team's track record. Avoid teams that are always jumping from one narrative to another with their projects. Look for teams that are able to follow up their projects and release updates. One of the reasons why I'm absolutely in love with Mask, and another reason why I'm in love with XP Network, the team always follows up their projects. And tokenomics. Be sure to pay attention to projects that have good tokenomics. Pay attention to the vesting. Pay attention to the whales. And the fifth and final point for projects that should make it to your list is the marketing. I've seen great projects with poor marketing, and these projects are practically left to die. Why are they left to die? Because the team aren't able to promote their project. You can have a great idea and it will end up dying in the garage if you are not able to get it out there. So I think it's extremely important for a project to have good marketing, back up the utility with some hype, because the crypto space is very emotionally charged. So it's important for a project to be able to get it out there and let us know, oh, this is the competition. This is why you should pick us over the competition. This is why we are better than the competition. So marketing is also important. And that brings us to the conclusion of our first part of navigating a bearish market, making a list. I've discussed all of the points that you need in order for a crypto project to make a list, to be able to get into that list. The list can vary. It can be a mid-cap portfolio, it can be a high cap, it can be a low cap, it can be even an NFT portfolio or $1,000 portfolio. What's important is you have a list of great projects that you are going to pay attention to whenever the market is bearish. Now that you have your list, the next part is to get some exposure. Now, there are two ways you can, there are several reasons why I say we should get some exposure. For many people, they don't get in early on the projects, right? And they feel like, oh, this project has gone up too high and it's too late for me to invest in the project. And what I'll say to that is pay more attention to the market cap instead of the price of a project. I've literally seen people miss out on 5x gains because a project did 2x in a week. That shouldn't be the case. Polygon at some point was a 50x gain. But if you had kept DCing at 20 cents, you would have gotten an extra 5 to 10x at those prices. So don't be so emotional about what the price does. And the best way to counter this emotional attitude with missing out on a project, especially after it has made some gains, is what I say is at least get a little exposure. Instead of putting what you had in mind 100%, put like 10%, 20% of what you intended at that moment. There are two reasons why I say this. If it goes up, you're going to be pleased. You're going to be happy. Oh, I'm not missing out on that. You have put your FOMO in check while still being calculative about the risk you're taking. But if it goes down, you would be glad you didn't put 100% of your cash into that project at that moment. At that moment, you would be happy to get in at a lower price. So, getting some exposure to a project it helps in an emotionally charged space like crypto. It checks your FOMO, and at the same time, it prevents you from getting burnt or dumped on, because you are able to take advantage of its volatility. If it goes up, you're getting some benefits. If it goes down, you can still get in at a lower price. And pay closer attention to the market cap. If you believe this is a project that can reach $1 billion in market cap, I'll be more than happy to get in at $10 million in market cap. So pay close attention to market cap, not price. And the third and perhaps most important part of navigating a bearish market is to set targets. Take, for example, I have targets with Altura. I'm planning to DCA Altura at 0.03 and 0.02. I have my emotions in check. I already am holding some Altura with me, right? So I have some exposure, like I said. Altura is in my list. I have some exposure to Altura, and now I have targets. It doesn't matter how the markets behave, respect your targets, because these are prices you are comfortable with. If you feel like Altura is going to run off without you and it's going to keep going up, well, that's the point of getting some exposure. I already have some that I can use to enjoy the gains. and I've set targets that, oh, if it goes down to this level, I'm going to DCA. And that brings us to the next point. After setting your targets, you DCA at these targets. But the point of setting targets is you have to know and respect these targets. Once the prices gets to those targets, you DCA. Once it gets to the second target, my second target for Altura is 0.02. I DCA again. Between 0.03 and 0.02, I'm okay with the price of DCing into Altura. So this puts my emotions in check. I already have some exposure and I already have targets that I'm going to DCA into quality projects that have made it into my list. So dollar cost averaging, for those who don't know, that's the meaning of DCA, is one of the most important strategies. It lowers your average of getting into a project, especially in a volatile markets like crypto. So whether it's up, whether it's down, when dollar cost average, especially at the targets you've set, you take advantage of the volatility of the cryptocurrency market. So I think, with these first 4 points, making a list and checking what kinds of projects makes it to your list, getting some exposure, setting targets, and then dollar cost averaging at these targets, you would be very good in a market that is as volatile as crypto. I mean, don't expect the market to always go up. Don't feel depressed whenever there's a dip. Take these dips as opportunities that you can use to improve your portfolio or get in earlier, get in as better prices on some projects. So before now, we have gotten to the point where I would share my list. Now, my list is going to follow these points that I made here. My list is going to follow the points I've made here. Projects that have good ideas, good justification for the blockchain, a good team track record, good tokenomics, and marketing on the side as well. So I'm going to share that list with you guys now. And before I do so, I want to quickly address some comments. So I'm so happy to see you here, Crypto Archie. I really appreciate you coming here today. And yes, I'll be happy to be on Crypto Archie's channel on Wednesday. It's always a pleasure talking with Archie. Is one of the brightest minds, in crypto space that I've met, and I'll be happy to, talk with the audience as well. So yeah, I look forward to it on Wednesday. Be sure to join us, guys. Thor Almighty, it's good to have you. How's Odin doing? Yeah, the market is bleeding. It seems people are coming back to their senses from meme coins after being exit liquidity. Crypto Caleb, always good to see you. And my good friend Crypto Sets, one of the best crypto bros out there. How you doing? Thanks for joining me here today. So, can I say something about Gala's change to version 2? Well, I'm not going to pretend like I've read about version 2, but I am bullish on Gala as a great project, as a good gaming project, as a hub for entertainment within the crypto space, because they are more than just a gaming project. They've got music, they've got films as well, and they have marketing, something that I also listed as important when putting a project on a list. Regarding what the version 2 is about, I'm going to read deeper into it and let you know my thoughts on its store. So yeah, my portfolio is 50% quant. Am I crazy? Well, no, I don't think you're crazy. Quant is a solid high cap gem, in my opinion. Spoiler alert, is one of the projects that I believe is great for holding in the long term, that is in my list. So any price about $100, I think, is a steal for quant, because I believe quants can easily make $1,000. Is a real low cap gem, in my opinion, and extremely limited in supply. So 50% quant, everybody, portfolios are subjective to your situation. If you're holding and accumulating quants for the long term, and you're fine with your day job, and you're just waiting for the day quant to explode, I think that's a good strategy, sorry, because high cap gems can offer good returns, far better than traditional banking or traditional finance, and without the risk of low cap gems. So quant is definitely a worthy crypto to add to your list. So, Anurag Sharma, thank you for joining me, and thank you for your comments. Yeah, utility is extremely important, and that's what I mean when I say a good justification for the blockchain. What do you think? Can check dots make a 50 to 100x next bull run? I'm bullish on check dots, no doubt about that. And 50 to 100x as the market cap is out right now. I think check dot is about $2.5 million in market cap. Yes, definitely. To suggest that check dots can reach $100 million in market cap is entirely possible. Why do I say so? Well, it's a sad reality of the crypto space. We need the insurance. There's so much craziness that goes on. Even stable coins are depegging sometimes in crypto, something that we should not see happening. Imagine getting rug pulled on a stable coin. That's levels of pain that I really don't understand. So, CheckDot solves all of these issues, smart contracts vulnerabilities, platform hacks, stable coins depeg. It gives investors and projects that's much more confidence. And I think, projects that aid adoption will do well in the crypto space. CheckDot being one of the few insurance crypto projects that I know about. So yeah, I'm bullish on CheckDot. I think it will do very well, especially once crypto starts to get popular, the scammers and these low lives start to emerge from whatever pits they're hiding in. So we'll see the need for a project like CheckDot coming out a lot. The next comment is from Rizal Karim. Thanks for joining me. Bro, would love your quick thoughts on Hush. I'm waiting to buy but hesitant as it's a new project. Okay. This will be the first project I'll review, but after I share my list, Hush, I'm going to look into it right now. Thanks for joining me, everyone else. So regarding my list, the first project I said I'm going to share my list for lifetime opportunities. Well, I would say buy some Bitcoin. Yeah, it's boring, and I know that might not be the most exciting project for me to talk about now, but Bitcoin is getting more and more important, especially with the way banks are failing in the US and other parts of the world. I'm not just going to shield any random shitcoin. And apart from the fact that Bitcoin is the king of crypto, there's also this talks about BRC20 that my patrons and I are having a lot of hot conversation on within our patron. So by the way, for those who don't know, I have a patron. We don't just do buy alerts, we have conversations where we discuss many of these great opportunities. So we have been discussing BRC20 tokens, the best strategies to adopt in making some gains on it, and how to avoid losing money navigating this new narrative. So, yeah, Bitcoin is definitely going to be getting more interesting. Do you think BRC20 is a good thing for the blockchain? I mean, it would make Bitcoin have values that are not consistent, because some Bitcoin would be more valuable than others depending on the embedded information within it, making it an NFT. That might actually defeat the purpose of what Bitcoin aims to do, which is to be sound and decentralized money that anybody can get in. So having some Bitcoin more valuable than others might defeat the purpose. But some would also say this unlocks a lot of potential for what Bitcoin can do, to be more than just a store of value. Take, for example, gold. Gold, as wonderful as gold is as a store of value, people use it for other things. It's an amazing conductor. They use it for fashion, jewelries, stuff like that. So why not make Bitcoin more than just a store of value? So if you want to get in on all those kind of intellectually charged discussions, consider joining my patrons. But the first lifetime opportunity crypto that I think is worth accumulating is Hadera Hashgraph, HBAR. And the more I look into HBAR, the more I like it. I always like to compare HBAR and Algorand. I used to look at them as kind of equals, but I'm leaning more towards HBAR the more I look into HBAR, because HBAR is not just a blockchain, it's more than just a blockchain. It's an entirely new system of is an entirely new system for checking for ledgers, for what the blockchain aims to solve. Well, lots of blockchains are failing. We've seen Ethereum, even the ones that are working are not so good. Cardano right now has over 96% in load. The transactions per second are going to get more difficult as the load gets heavier. HBAR, on the other hand, aside from the fact that is eco-friendly, is extremely fast, processing over 80 million transactions. So I think in a month, and I think the fact that it uses an entirely new disruptive technology would make HBAR a very great long-term hold, because when blockchains are failing, once Ethereum gets archaic and people are seeing how ridiculous these gas fees are and how unscalable it is. The technology behind HBAR, how extremely fast and eco-friendly it is, I think that would make it do very well in the long term. So HBAR is definitely a project that you can take advantage of whenever the markets are bearish, because it's a revolutionary new technology within the web, within the blockchain, the crypto space, and I think it's a third generation crypto that many people can take advantage of. The next project, speaking of blockchain and their problems, especially with what we've seen with Ethereum, I think layer twos will do well, especially with Ethereum. We've seen how ridiculous Ethereum can be, right? Paying $100 for gas fees, it's not cool. And even though I blame meme coins for that, it shows us that Ethereum might not be ready for the mass adoption, and we can't keep waiting 5 years for them to make any minor updates. So I think layer twos still have a long way to grow. I think layer twos will keep doing well, and Polygon being one of the best out there. Whenever you see major companies like Disney, Coca-Cola, Reddit getting onto the blockchain, they use Polygon, and it's for a very good reason, because they want to enjoy the benefits and the security of Ethereum while being faster and with lower transaction fees. And one of the best parts about the Polygon blockchain is dApps that exist on the Ethereum blockchain can be easily ported over to the Polygon blockchain without writing it from scratch. So my precious nephew is here. So I think Polygon is a great low cap gem. Like my friend Crypto Grinds Stuart always says, Polygon is more of a layer 1.5 blockchain at this point, because it gives these developers option to grow while enjoying the benefit and security of Ethereum. So yeah, that's the second project. And notice in my list, I like to start with high caps before moving down towards the low cap gem, because a balanced portfolio is extremely important. You like to diversify, but don't over diversify, and try to manage your risk. Investing responsibly is extremely important. And speaking of blockchains, and why I prefer HBAR as a revolutionary new technology, is not a traditional blockchain and layer two solution. Another project that I believe will do very well, especially because it can take advantage of whatever new need arises with what's going on in the crypto space, is Tezos. The main reason why I like Tezos is an adaptable blockchain. This is a blockchain that can evolve and adapt. So if there's a need to build a quantum resistance blockchain, it's going to be easy for Tezos, right? And like we've seen with Ethereum, some of these projects take way too long to do the simplest things, and it's going to be very difficult. It's not going to be smooth. So Tezos is able to accomplish this without the risk of a hard fork, and I think this makes Tezos a great high cap to accumulate whenever there is a dip in the market. Now, the next project is a bit controversial, and I always get a lot of hate for this project I'm about to share, and that's Litecoin. Litecoin. So I think Litecoin is definitely a project worth considering. I mean, it's everything you know and love about Bitcoin. It's got its marketing done by Bitcoin, just at a lower market cap, faster transaction and lower speed. I think Litecoin still has a lot of room for growth. Zero downtime, good track record, and there's this issue of regulation. One of the reasons why you should not sleep on Litecoin. Commodities versus securities. Bitcoin is definitely not a security, and the most likely project that is going to follow in that track when regulators come for your crypto is going to be Litecoin. I think Litecoin is going to be future proof. I think it's a great alternative to Bitcoin with a lot of potential for growth. So Litecoin is definitely one that you should pay attention to. So guys, don't hate on Litecoin so much. It's definitely a high cap gem that I think is worth considering. Just get some. It's limited supply. Get some, maybe two or three if you like, because I think it is also a project that can reach $1,000 per coin. So Litecoin is an interesting one. And now we are done with the high caps. Let's move on to the mid caps. And the first one I'm going to share with you guys is XDC. I've covered XDC. I made a dedicated video about XDC once on my channel. And I like the fact that XDC is an hybrid blockchain. It takes advantage of proof of stake and proof of work. And I think, that's a good form of security. And aside from that, XDC network also has a lot of regulatory compliance. So when I'm a big fan of narratives, and what I consider a narrative is a common feature to several crypto projects. So it could be that all of these projects fit into this regulatory compliance narrative, or all of these crypto projects fit into freelance narrative, or all of these projects fit into blockchain tools. So pay close attention to narratives. They are the best way you can make money in this space, because once you're investing in mid caps, the best thing to invest in a mid cap is the idea, that's narrative, because mid caps cannot pump as crazy as low caps. The only thing that would make a mid cap to pump is when a narrative is exploding. Take for example AI, the AI narrative. If the AI narrative is beginning to take to get some traction, if institutions are going to look for the mid caps, they're not going to look at the low caps. And institutions can make projects move up far, far faster than retail. Well, meme coins have proven me a bit wrong with how quickly retails can push the price up. But I digress. Pay close attention to narratives, and I think SDC, being a great layer one with good regulatory compliance and a hybrid blockchain, I think is a great mid cap that is worth accumulating. And the next mid cap that I think is has a lot of potential is Cardano. Crypto goes. Yeah, crypto goes is a big fan of Cardano. Is bullish on it, and it's because of him I started looking into the project and checking the history, checking its previous price action. I think Cardano has a lot of potential. It's got a good community behind it. It's got a strong use case. Even though it's a proof of work crypto blockchain, it's still eco-friendly compared to Bitcoin. So I think Cardano is definitely a mid cap, sitting at a market cap of 190, and its previous all-time high was about 4 billion. That's what then that's over a 20x from this point. So yeah, for a mid cap, those are pretty good looking returns, especially for a mid cap. So Cardano, XDC, I think those projects will do very well. I skipped quants because I've already spoken about it. And now let's move on to the low caps, because I know a lot of people are so excited about low caps. What are the low cap gems I'm looking at that are worth adding to your list, that have a good idea behind it, that have a strong justification on the blockchain, that have an active team that is going to keep building the project and marketing as well. Well, the first one is in a narrative that I've been covering for a while now, and that's the freelance narrative. The first project being Hive. Hive is a project that I am bullish on, and I believe has a lot of long-term potential. Why? Because the justification is just too strong with Hive on the blockchain. It has a Web2 solution that is way, way better than what we have in the Web2 space. And as a freelancer myself, with couple of years, like over 3 years experience doing freelancing, I understand the need for a project like Hive, and I can see it being something that can be adopted by people even outside the crypto space. And that's what you like to see in a project. People shouldn't care that it's on the blockchain. People should want to use it first. It being on the blockchain can now be an added benefit, a bonus, if you will. So Hive is definitely a great low carb gem that is worth accumulating on dips, and one that even presents even better opportunity for returns is Lancera. Lancera is a very good looking blockchain, also tackling this multi-billion-dollar industry. However, Lancera is at a market cap of $600,000. So the potential for return is just crazy good with Lancera. And there are very few freelance projects out there. Hive is the only one that I know of. Lancera has Lancera has a mainnet launch in the next month, and the reason why you're seeing this market cap of 600K in market cap is because people aren't talking about it yet, because the mainnet isn't live yet. Now, imagine how parabolic it goes once the mainnet launches and it goes live. I mean, the testnet is very good looking. I've made a video. I showed how the testnet looks and how it works. So they've taken that data in, they're working on it. The team is responding to comments, responding to questions, and they're going to be launching the mainnet soon. Once people can get started using it, I think that's going to be bullish. So, as an investor, I'm seeing this as a very big opportunity for making a lot of gains with Lancera. And that's the first narrative that I think is good for low cap. And the next one is Genomes DAO. Now, Genomes DAO is within a decentralized science narrative. I can go on and on about why decentralized science is better on the blockchain, and it mainly has to do with the fact that knowledge should become more open source, more decentralized, and people should live in a sense of free world where they can, let people understand, speak the truth, and let people judge for themselves. We shouldn't be in a world where the media gets to tell us what we can say and what we cannot say. We are not stupid. We should be able to think for ourselves and decide what is right and wrong based on the information provided. So decentralized science is one of the narratives that is tackling this problem, and Genomes DAO is within the genome sequencing narrative of decentralized science. Sorry, I said narrative is within the genome sequencing field of decentralized science. There are other projects like Cambria, which which aims to approach this decentralized science narrative from innovation and research perspective. So Genomes DAO is at a very good dip right now, and I think is on the Arbitrum ecosystem. So if you are worried about the Ethereum gas fees, I think that's a good route you can get it on. The market cap isn't showing on coin market cap right now, but I think on CoinGecko you see that this project is about $2 million in market cap. Hold on, let me bring it up. About $2 million in market cap. Okay, not even up to 2 million. Here we go. So Genomes DAO is $1.3 million in market cap. And I think that's a very low cap for what this project is doing, for what the project aims to solve. I'm bullish on contributing to knowledge in an anonymous manner while having the earning potential for it. So I've made several dedicated videos. You can check my live streams. You would see it is very clear. You can't miss it. You can check the live stream where I spoke about Genomes DAO right here, the decentralized science narrative. And I think this is a great project within that field. So the next low cap is going to be within the gaming narrative, and gaming is my closest to entering a meme coin. Why? Because gaming offers everything people like about meme coin, but with some utility and with earning potential and giving you ownership and the benefits of borderless decentralization and so on. So if you really feel like the need for that meme culture and stuff like that, I think gaming projects are the way to go. I think they offer that fun of being in a meme community while having some utility to it. So yeah, Altura is definitely one of the best low cap gaming projects, and there are many reasons. Again, if you are an avid watcher of my channel, you would know why I'm a fan of Altura. Altura is a great NFT project, a Unity verified solution that helps developers get started in the Web3 space if they're building on the Web2 space. It allows gamers to get focused on building games. It makes NFTs easy, implementations of NFT easy. It has its SDKs, got interoperability. So Altura is definitely a low cap gem that has a lot of potential for the next bull run, sitting at $28 million in market cap. This is definitely a worthy project to add on your list. And the next gaming project that I'm going to cover, I have a strong bias towards it because I've been covering it for years now, and that's Defina Finance. Yeah, I'm holding Defina. I've made my biases clear. Full disclosure, Defina Finance, someone out there agrees with me that this project has a lot of potential. Up 17% today. I think this project is definitely a low cap worth considering. It's a gaming project that has a strong interactive community, and perhaps one of the things I like the most about Defina Finance is the team behind it, constantly responding to user comments, implementing feedbacks, adding more gameplay modes so that people don't get bored. The variety is there, free to play aspect, a low barrier to entry, and just fun anime like gameplay. So, yeah, I like Defina Finance, and I think it has a lot of long term potential. And that brings me to the last part of today's live stream. And that's what you have to say. So I really appreciate every one of you for joining me today. I'm going to be addressing the comments now, starting with Hush from one of the viewers. So I talked about, for those of you, a quick recap. I talked about navigating a bearish market, make a list, make a good list for the projects. If you want to know what kind of project should make it into your list, you look at the project idea, its justification on the blockchain, the team track record, not teams that are just rebranding left and right, teams that are able to follow up their projects, good tokenomics, and good marketing. So after you've created your list, you can then get some exposure so that you can have more emotional control, set targets, respect those targets that you are going to DCA in. Don't be so emotionally invested and always looking at the charts 247. That won't help you. Call your mom, call your friends, don't quit your day job, have those targets in mind. When your price reaches those targets, DCA into it, and then I've shared my list with you guys. And for the first comments regarding the project is from Karim. So Karim, you asked me to look into Hush. I'm going to take a quick look at it right now and share my thoughts on it. So what I will say first of all is, um, if a project is about to launch, you need to proceed with caution. But from what I'm seeing right here, Hush has a market cap of 450, so a micro cap, 57% in circulation. Good to see. The project idea now is extremely important. Let's see what is about. Hush aims to allow users to speak and transact freely. It describes itself as a privacy cryptocurrency and messenger on zero knowledge proof encryption. It's an implementation of zero cash protocol, offering to the team possibly one of the first blockchains to enforce only. So there are not so many good exchanges right now that you can get it on. Safe Trade and Trade Ogre only on centralized exchange. There's no contract, but the idea is decent. That's the first thing I'll say about it. The circulating supply is good. I've not checked the amount of holders, but the only way you can get it right now, it seems you can only get it on centralized exchanges. It would be nice to see it on decentralized exchanges as well. So the idea of the project seems to be a blockchain that allows people to speak freely, kind of like decentralized social media. And what I'll say to that is, I told you a project having a use case might not necessarily mean it's solving a problem, because there are many other projects doing something similar with Hush. So I don't think it's necessary to invest into every project that says they are going to do something that is good. They might have a good idea, they might even have good execution, but it might not be enough to compete with the many others out there. A project should have a good justification on the blockchain and a unique selling point. Why would I pick Hush over, let's say, decentralized social? That's so. Because if decentralized social has its own decentralized Twitter or is decentralized YouTube, there's not really a strong reason for me to abandon that and go to Hush unless it is doing it way better than every other out there. And you can see that, okay, the competition out there, Hush completely crushes it. If that's the case, then yes, Hush might have a good justification for it, might have a good reason for me to invest in. So, having a good justification on the blockchain and a unique selling point is extremely important. I like the project's idea, it's interesting. I like the amount in circulation. I wish it was on decentralized exchanges or more popular centralized exchanges. I'm going to look deeper into this project. It's definitely worth looking deeper into because if they can do better than the competition, it looks like a good project. The idea is very good. Zero knowledge core, private messaging, security for miners and for developers, for investors. Yeah, so Hush looks like an interesting one. Thanks for bringing it up to me, my friend. I really appreciate it. Maximum supply 100 a million 300K market cap and on ZK Sync. Yeah, it's an interesting project. I'll look deeper into it. It's not too bad from what I'm seeing, to be honest. I just wish it was a more decentralized exchange. So if I had to choose only one low cap project for the next bull run, what will it be? Very interesting question. Very good one. I'm not sure I can answer that because I have some locals that I'm super bullish on, that I'm very convinced on. I have strong conviction with. I mean, I've covered Hive today. Then there's um XP Network. I'm a big fan of XP Network because it has just so much utility. And Mask. I also like Mask. But if I were to pick one, just one for the next bull run and nothing else, I'm going to pick XP Network. Yeah. I've been covering XP Network since it was 0.002. So shout out to my patrons if they're able to get in an area as that. I think XP Network has a lot of long-term potential. And it's a project that don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for Explainator. Just take a look at what they are doing right here on their Twitter. Take a look at what they are doing on their take a look at what they are doing on their socials, on their websites. Hold on a moment. Let me bring it up. So I've been talking about Explain Network for a very, very long time, and I'm super bullish on it. It's the one low cap that I know will do well. I have no doubts in my mind. I'm not used to this new interface. Where's the website? Okay, yeah, the website and their Twitter. So, like I said, don't take my word for it. Just look at what this project is doing. Secret is now integrated into the XP network. They have weekly summaries with impressive updates, regular and impressive updates. They've got, different CEOs of blockchain dropping reviews for them. And this is a project that is sitting at a $2.2 million in market cap. Absolutely insane for what this project is doing and what they can do. I think this project is going to do very well in the next bull run. So, take for example, look at this. Secret is integrated with XP Network, enabling Secret NFTs to go multi-chain. It's also a blockchain tool. If a project wants to have cross-chain capabilities or going multi-chain, they'll find a project like XP Network highly relevant. For example, look at Fabwelt, another gaming project I've covered. Fabwelt is able to achieve cross-chain gaming by using XP Network to go on the Polygon and the Binance Smart Chain. So it's going to be something that many NFT projects will find relevant within the space. I think XP Network is a super bullish low cap gem. And if you are looking for another project that brings a lot of functionality to NFTs, then check out Charge Particles. That's another project that I covered recently on my channel. That's right here. This microcap gem can easily 100x your money in the bull run. Charge Particles is another NFT blockchain tool that I think will do very well. But to answer your question, yeah, if I were to pick only one low cap. I'm not saying other low caps won't do well, but I'm kind of like 100% sure. Not financial advice, SSM's conviction. I'm 100% sure XP Network will do well. And I'm going to address the next comments. Mask. Love Mask. Super bullish on Mask. Also, like SP Network, they keep putting out updates. They keep, bringing out new news integrations. And again, don't take my word for it. Look at their Twitter page, and you see why I'm super bullish on a project like Mask. Mask is a project that is at a still right now 91% in circulation. Good to see. And if you look at their Twitter, you would see right here that they've put another update. They've put another update. It's here, the Mask privacy browser, a new update. So this is what I like to see in a project. Projects that are constantly developing, putting out updates. You know that the team is laser focused. They know what they are doing, not just saying, "Oh, we made 3x today," or "We made 20% gains today." They don't care about that. Kind of like the final finance. They keep building, they keep updating, even in a bearish market. So I think Mask browser is one of those kind of projects that they don't care what the market is doing, because they are building for the next bull run. And I think Mask is going to do very well based on that. So I'm going to address the next comments now. And that's Algorand. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Algorand sets. Don't get me wrong. I love Algorand, but I just prefer HBAR. I think HBAR, the fact that is not just a blockchain, they're using a new technology, the hashgraph technology. I think that would make that would solve a lot of problems, because blockchains are going down left and right, even the ones that we thought were good. Solana, Ethereum has a horrible gas fee. Cardano is getting heavy and slow. So I think HBAR is going to be more adopted in the long run. Algorand, I like the fact that Algorand is future proof. They've got this MIT graduates as their founder. I think Algorand too will do well. Both are great projects. I just prefer HBAR. Quant is solid, no doubt. I've not checked Quant Stamp, but my bro said Quant Stamp is a dead project. Look at the charts, and I value his opinion highly. So yeah, take that. I'll look into it if you want. Maybe message the Telegram group. I have a free Telegram group. You can join. Links in the description. And if you are that serious about me looking into it, I'll take a look at it as well. $1,000 investment portfolio. Okay, I can't go on for too long, but what I'll do is I'll direct you to this video right here. Here, will you pick 4 projects that will do a 10x or have a 1000x peak? So I think this is a video worth watching if you would like to see how I will invest $1,000 into crypto. And aside from that, I think Seth and I have made several videos about how we would invest $1,000. I'm going to quickly move through some comments right now. Algorand is actually at a still right now, yeah. Is about $1 billion in market cap. I think is what's accumulating. If you are interested in this project, I think is a project that is worth DCing at the moment. So XP Network, Mask, Hive, Fina, Broccoli, yeah, all great projects. I'm bullish on all of them. Cardina is greater than HBAR and Algorand. Well, Cardina has a lower market cap. I think it's going to do well, but I don't think Cardina is better than HBAR or Algorand. I still think HBAR is better. So these are my picks. Okay, Gene, Lancera, Naka, Arbitrum, Cardina, all good lists. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Jama, say hi. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate every single one of you for joining me in today's live stream, and I really hope to see you all next time. If you haven't subscribed, for those of you who don't know, I'm SSM Crypto. I like to research and put on your radar great crypto gems. So subscribe if you like more of that, and I hope to see you all next time. Stay safe and take care, guys. Bye bye.